Good morning, everyone. If you notice, today I have a special guest with me on my shoulder, and he is a whale. And we're going to talk about whales today, and his name is Mr. Waves. Because he likes to ride in the waves as he's swimming. So he is my little guest today, and he is an orca whale. So we're going to talk about whales today, and he is an orca whale. If you notice, he's white and black, and they have a fin on their back, and their tail, which is called the flukes, and then two flippers to swim with. So we're going to talk about a whale and the different parts of a whale. But first, I'm going to have him sit to the side, we're going to read about a story of a whale. And the story isn't about an orca whale, but it's about a beluga whale, and it's called Baby Whale's Journey. Because in the ocean, there's lots of different kinds of whales. So I'll show you some different kinds of whales after our story. But our story is about a beluga whale. So Baby Whale's Journey. Off the Pacific coast of Mexico on a warm April night, two sperm whales circle each other. So they're sperm whales. They rub belly to belly, lock jaws and nuzzle, flippers touching in a sea of stars. Dawn comes and the male bull whale swims away on his own, 50 tons sliding north towards Alaska. So whales, are they big or small? They're very, very big, right? So they probably weigh, they're very, very heavy. They probably weigh a lot. So we probably couldn't pick them up, right? 16 moons pass, and the one who stayed behind becomes two. The new life slips smoothly from the warmth of its mother's body into the coolness of the ocean. And together, midwives and mother nudge baby whale to the surface for her very first breath. Because remember, we talked about mammals and fish the other day, and whales are a mammal because they're born alive, and they breathe air, right? So it went to the surface for its air, and it drinks milk from its mom. Mama whale pats her tenderly with her flipper, and baby whale nuzzles for milk. They are not aware that danger is near. So here are the whales, and what's the danger that's lurking by? That's my friend Mr. Whale here. Killer whales are coming, but when the orcas slice the surface, Mama whale spots them, and she and the others surround baby whale. Tails in, heads out, until the orcas turn as one away. So orcas are also called killer whales, but the whale was able to protect her baby whale. Now the sea calms mirror the sky. Baby whale follows her mother like a shadow, learning the rhythms of the sea. They too roll north for the summers, but not as far as the big lone males. And always, always they swim with the pod. So they always swim together. They don't swim alone. They always swim together, and it's called a pod. So a group of whales is called a pod. All the way, Mama whale speaks to her baby with creaks and clicks and murmurs. Baby whale clicks softly in return. She is never far behind when her mother swallows a seal or shark whole, or makes a meal of 40 salmon. So they eat seals and sharks and salmon. Salmon are the fish here. Baby whale spends her days spy hopping, lob tailing, breaching, then rolling over again to nurse at her mother's side. So breaching means they're coming out of the water. So that's the whale breaching out of the water. Moons come and moons go. Baby whale grows and grows. She is learning the ways of the whales in the sea. Nights, she floats at the surface under the stars, drifting in and out of sleep. With each breath, a small cloud blooms and disappears. So is she getting bigger or smaller? One evening, the full moon rising, baby whale dives down and down with her mother through green and purple twilight, through swirling galaxies of luminous fish, only to watch her vanish into total blackness. Baby whale can hear her mother's clicks and murmurs fading. Too deep, too deep. She returns to the surface and waits. So her mom went deep, deep down, but baby whale can't see her anymore. Suddenly, the ocean erupts. Mama whale bursts into the light of the moon. The tentacles of a 60-foot-long giant squid lace her body. Remember we talked about a squid the other day, which was the biggest thing in the ocean? So that's the squid. But remember, it wasn't the biggest thing in the ocean. The whale was. So you think it's eating it? Baby whale squeals as her mother crashes back into the sea. The giant squid writhes, pumping ink in rhythmic spurts. Suckers grasp, tentacles twist, and mama whale rolls with them, her huge teeth snapping. At last, tentacles torn, the giant squid stops struggling, and mama whale has won. So she was in a fight with the squid, but the mama whale won the fight. Now baby whale feasts, and the whole pod joins in, the blue sea dancing with whales in moonlight. So then they ate the squid for dinner. In the morning, baby whale and her mother and the others swim towards the horizon, and together they leap, rise, and blow like rolling shadows on the shining sea. That's a pretty picture, right? The end. So that was about our baby sperm whale. So I thought it was a beluga whale. It was a sperm whale. So baby whale's journey. So about a sperm whale. So here I have my own sperm whale. So you can tell the difference here of this whale. So here it's back fins and flippers. But the front of this whale is round. It's kind of rounded in the front, right? So now look at, there was a killer whale in the story, like my Mr. Waves here. He is a killer whale. See the difference between the two? So this one's obviously blue and this one's black, and its fin at the top is bigger, it's taller, and it's white on its belly, right? And you can't really see, but there's a blowhole there. You can kind of see it in the shadow. And then they have the white spots here by their eyes. The white kind of looks like their eyes. And this one I think is called a beluga whale. Don't count, maybe not a beluga. But there's another, maybe this is the beluga whale. Since this was the sperm, this might be the beluga. So this one's also black, but its nose is more pointed and it has bumps on it as well. And its fins have it's a little jagged on their fins there. See how it's a little bit jagged? It's not as smooth. And then they also have white on their belly on fins here. And then our last whale, it's called a blue whale. I think the blue whale is the biggest of all the whales. So it's obviously blue, and it's pointed at the front. And under here, you can see there's like lines on its belly as well. And then it has its flippers, and these are called flukes. The tail is called a fluke, and it has a tiny little fin at the top. And then you can see here, that's where its blowhole is. The blowhole is what they use when they come to the surface to get air. So they use their blowhole for air, and sometimes water comes out of their blowhole when they're up at the surface to breathe. Okay, so what we're gonna do is you have your whale poster where we have to label all the parts of the poster. So let's go through before we label it what each arrow is pointing to, and then we can figure out the words and put it together. So this one is pointing to that one's kind of easy. That's called its eye, right? That's how they see. So that's its eye. This at the top, remember I said sometimes water comes out and that's how they breathe when they reach the surface. That's called a blowhole. Can you say blowhole? Right? It's a blowhole. That's how they breathe when they reach the surface. And that's an easy one. What is that arrow pointing to? What do they eat with? Their mouth, right? They eat with their mouth. And these are called, on the sides here, these are their flippers, right? That's how they swim through the water. They're flippers. And now it's not called a tail, but their tail is called a fluke. It's flukes. These two things are called flukes. So it's their tail, but instead of the word tail, they use the word flukes to label the whale. So let's label them together. So first, this is the eye. So the word eye starts with the letter E. Although it's kind of deceiving because you'd think it'd start with I. But it starts with the letter E. It's E-Y-E. So this is our label for the I. So we're going to take that and we're going to put it right here in the square. So here is its I. And let's go down up here. So remember, this is his blowhole, right? That's how he breathes, his blowhole. Blowhole starts with what letter? B, B, B. So it's going to be B, the word that starts with the letter B. So this is the blowhole. So that's how do you spell blowhole, and it's going to go there. Now let's go back down here to its mouth. So mouth. What letter does mouth start with? M, right? So this one is the word mouth, and we're going to put it right there. Now this one will be tricky because they both start with the same word. So this one is the flippers, right? What letter makes the sound? Right, so it's the letter F, but which is L, but they both have the L, so so I. So flippers, F-L-I-P-P-E-R. So this is the word flipper. So we're gonna put that right here. And do you remember what the whale's tail was called? It was the flukes, right? So the last one is called the flukes. So real quick, let's go over it one more time. We have the whale's blowhole, how it breathes and comes to the surface for air, and sometimes water spurts out of it. Its eye to see, their mouth to eat, their flippers to swim through the water, and their flukes, which is their tail, part of their tail, that they use also to breach the top of the water, remember, to come out of the water. So that was all we had today. Mr. Waves says goodbye. So there he is, he's waving goodbye, and we hope you have a good rest of your day.